us today. She's our regular host. So today I'm jumping in to help her out with this moderation. So a little bit about myself, pretty quickly. I am a company founder in Berlin, normally doing innovation consulting services. And before that, I worked for Zalando for a couple of years. Before that, I was in Toyota, and now I'm based in Berlin. And I'm also co-organizing meetups with Business Model Innovators meetup along with Estefania. Today, we're talking about digital platform co-ops and why this is an alternative to the gig and the sharing economy. For this talk, we have two guests today. Our first guest is Magdalena, who is the founder and CEO of Agit Polska and Smart.de. And also we have Ella, who is the co-founder of Supermart and also part of Platform Co-ops Germany. You will get to know much more about them, of course, when they give their presentation and when they talk a little more about themselves, but they will be today our presenters. Before we start, we normally give a little bit of what this meetup is all about. So mostly Business Model Innovator is a community of innovators in which we organize, first of all, inspiring presentations and workshops, and also motivate people to talk about innovation and trending topics. We do this mostly in topics around systemic innovation, agile methodologies, and also new technologies and business model trends or business model business cases. Sorry. Before that, we had a talk about subscription business models, and what we do is we try to bring as much as good speakers and great topics to our meetup so everyone can, of course, share knowledge and also network afterwards. Up until now, we have 44 people in the room. So if you wish, you can start sharing where you are, in which country, or either you can share your LinkedIn profile in the chat. So yeah, feel free to start interacting if you wish also from the chat. A little bit of the facts about this meetup. Right now, we are almost 5,000 members. They're mostly located between Germany, Spain, UK. We have hosted more than 50 meetups so far. Normally, we have a cadence of one event per month. And we are expanding currently to more than 15 countries, or our attendees are coming from more than 15 countries. Last but not least, we are always in the look of new speakers, or we're also allowing this, providing this space for anyone who would like to present a topic. So if you would like to be a guest speaker, or you would like to share anything with our community, or you would like to sponsor some of our meetups, just feel free to get in touch with us. Especially with Estefania, I will also put in the chat our LinkedIn profiles, and with her or either with me, you can arrange if you want to be part of as guest speaker in our upcoming events, either this year or in 2021. So that is basically it. For me now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I would like to invite our first guest speaker to talk about digital platform co-ops. So please, Ella.
Thanks.
Yes.
And hi everybody. I guess that's me. I'm the first one to talk. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me along with Magda to talk about platform co-ops. And hello everybody. Really glad that so many people found their way into this online meeting. If times would have been different, we would have probably met physically, but yeah, that's just the way we do it now. And yeah, I want to invite you to really use the chat while I'm talking. I'm not going to talk too long, no longer than 10 minutes really, to first of all to give some space for Magda also to present Smart, but also to hear from you and to discuss with you and hear your questions. So yeah, today's topic, business model innovation. Now in times of pandemic, in the year 2020, the year where we are changing so many, where we are facing so many challenges, we are in like a constant crisis mode, right? It seems as if we don't have a chance to really get out of this ongoing crisis. And there are many different questions along with that, like who is actually profiting from that crisis, and you know what is the space and the possibility that it's still offered for us to navigate around. So I would just like to share some critical reflections on this long way from the sharing economy to where we are today. So I'm going to give a little wrap up, also in a historic sense, to just set a little bit of the context. But also I see this as a chance to open up the space for mutual learning. So whenever there is anything you would like to share in the chat, questions, comments, whatever, please do it. And you know, before I start my little improvised lecture, I want to ask you what innovation means for you right now, today, in your part of the world, in your personal situation, in your business situation. What is innovation for you? And you can just use the chat to share that. Whenever an answer comes up, just type it in the chat and let us know. It's really interesting for us to hear. Yeah, so basically, I would say my business life but also my private life has changed a lot almost 10 years ago. For me, the years 2009, but also 2008 was starting already, has been a really critical moment in time, because this was the moment when the financial crisis hit. This was 2009 was the moment also when protest movements started to really gain momentum, such as the Occupy movement. We have seen the rise of Bitcoin in 2009. And, you know, while all this was happening, also the sharing economy has seen the light of day with Uber and Airbnb. They have their 10th anniversary this year. So that means for me, that was a really important shift. And it was also the year when we have founded Supermarkt, which is our community space around digital culture and alternative economies in Berlin. And that was the moment when we also, me and my team, really made a shift from the artistic and cultural sphere more into economy, because we felt that whatever it is that we were going to tackle or research or work towards really would be built on economy and on a lot of the things that were changing around us. So around that time, we have seen many different factors that are still defining our world today, cloud computing and so forth, really taking shape and shifting gears, and that sort of brought up into our current situation. So let's just revisit this term shared economy, because it's basically, that's also the claim for this event tonight, right? That this transformation from like a shared economy is into a real collective economy is actually possible. But let's look back into the initial promise of the sharing economy when Airbnb, Uber started. And there was basically this idea that it would be possible for all of us to share resources and to really, to create livelihood by day-to-day activities or by items of daily use, just making them available for our community. The idea is still really good and valid. The only problem is that all these ideas were organized around a really powerful company that owned not only the idea, but also, of course, the software and the data, and then the money. And just as we've seen the growth of these organizations, and we can also take others as an example, we really came to understand that they not only grew into really powerful companies, but they're really interfering in the infrastructure of our daily lives. This means the traffic that is as a consequence of online delivery by Amazon and others is blocking our streets. Airbnb really led to an enormous rise of rents in various cities all around the globe. the fact that, bicycle riders working for Deliveroo and other companies had to use their own private gear. They didn't have any insurance. They were not treated as employees, but basically took all the risk by their own bodies and by their own equipment. Same with Uber, where private people just use their own car, and there haven't been any safety features for neither for guests nor for the drivers themselves, and none of them were really had a real job. And this is also, it's an interesting link to what we are going to hear from Magda later on. And that's also a question that I want to ask you later, what innovation in the field of work and labor means for you. But this is also, I don't want to dive into that field because Magda is going to talk about that. So a lot of these pitfalls and problems around the sharing economy clearly showed us that instead of creating an economy which is based on mutual values, which is based on collective ownership, of collective data protection, of really building something that grows, we realized that this was basically the sharing economy in many respects turned out to be like a Pandora's box that caused a lot of problems. So nowadays we are discussing questions like, shall we regulate Google, shall we regulate Airbnb, and how are we going to do that? It's a really difficult political question, and there are no easy answers for that. But what I want to talk about is platform cooperativism as a really interesting counter movement that started as a consequence to all these things I was just mentioning. So I think it was around 2014 or 2015 when Sascha Lobo, German journalist, first coined the term platform capitalism. So he said, okay, people, we are living in times of platform capitalism, because no matter what we are doing online, we are basically, we are helping the big platforms to make even more money with our data, with our posts, with the images we are sharing. So we are working for them, right? And then there was also this really interesting saying that started around that time: if it's free, you are the product. And Trevor Scholz, one of the people who gave rise to the platform co-op movement, he's a professor at the New School in New York, he came up with this question: okay, if there's a platform capitalism, then let's just assume there's also a platform cooperativism. And the core question is, or the core feature of platform cooperativism is the notion of really creating a really interesting business model on the digital collaborative economy that is based on a software, on a digital service, whatever, but instead of being in the hands of a company, it's actually in the hands of their members. So a platform co-op is built on collective ownership, on democratic control, and cooperative values. And since platform co-ops really have different forms and shapes depending on where they are founded, whether in Germany, in the US, in the Netherlands, in Switzerland, all these countries have different regulations and jurisdictions and legal frameworks around cooperatives. But the interesting thing is that no matter in which country they reside, they are all doing groundbreaking work, such as smart, and we'll hear from Magda in a minute, because they do not only shift the business model into the digital realm, but they also automatically address questions such as digital participation, such as online voting, or capturing member sentiment online, which is a relatively new discipline, because most of the voting, at least in Germany, has been done in person and on the spot where people met in person. But also the really interesting question is how to organize a digital cooperative in a way that is coherent with cooperative governance, how is it possible to steer such a company across borders and basically digitally, just as we are together here in that space. And I just want to make sure to give some examples. We hear from Smart, but another really interesting example is, for instance, Fairbnb. So Fairbnb is obviously the platform co-op alternative to Airbnb. And what makes Fairbnb different from Airbnb is, first of all, the multi-stakeholder approach. So basically, there are different people involved. It's not just a board or a CEO taking the decisions, but this is really the decision making around Fairbnb is both locally but also globally. And they collaborate with city council, with local administration, with the neighborhood of specific buildings, with the tenants that live close by, in order to create something that is more sustainable. Because the basic idea of short-term housing is really good, is fine. There's no doubt about it, but we have to organize it in a different manner that is more sustainable, that doesn't impact our cities in a way that the rent is becoming unaffordable for us. And I think Fairbnb is a really interesting example. Another interesting example of a platform co-op is Resonate Music Streaming Collective. And it's basically what Apple Music is doing. I'm just typing in the chat. It's basically what Apple Music is doing, or what SoundCloud or Spotify is doing. This is about providing music streaming services. The interesting thing around Resonate is that it belongs to its members and that artists get a fair share of each download. So there's a really interesting co-ownership model. And it rests on a cooperative. So the interesting thing is a platform co-op is built on the really long-standing legacy of cooperatives worldwide, but is also really discovering the digital realm and setting ground in that area. So it's something that is really traditional and historic, is being married with a really pioneering digital work that really contains a lot of interesting and complex components, such as governance, collective ownership, and democratic control, which are disciplines that we are not brought up with, but we really need to acquire in order to be able to develop these companies further. And before I close, I really want to invite you to give Magda a good start, to maybe share your ideas of what innovation means to you, especially in the workplace. What is innovation in the workplace? If you think of jobs, if you think of wages of workers, what does innovation mean for you? What could be different? Please share your ideas, and Magda can pick it up. That's it from my end. Thank you. And from this big picture I've opened up, I want to pass it on to Magda to give us a little bit more concrete example. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ella. Thanks a lot, everybody. And as starting from Ella giving you really a broad picture of the whole situation and bringing you to all the ideas, I would like really to focus for a bit at first on the example of our cooperative and our company and our people, just to show you based on this example, how the ideas of Ella could be involved into the real life, could be put into the business model, which has a chance to be sustainable. Because the big problem of the cooperative is of the digital platform based on the cooperative system is also that, as Ella was already mentioning, we have still the problems of cooperative as a legal system working a bit slow, and being married with this new innovation, with this new digital model who is really fast and moving to the new areas, this brings in many countries a bit of legal and administration squeeze, and this was maybe I would like to share with you how it was possible for SMART to came over the ideas and to get it possible as innovation on the platform cooperativism field. I will share my screen right now with you, and I will go for the presentation of SMART. So this is SMART, and this is our logo. SMART comes from French language, and it is Société Mutuelle pour Artistes. I'm not so good in French, but SMART as idea was born in the artistic field, and what is the aim of the cooperative is to work with the freelancer and to combine the flexibility of the life of the freelancer with the security of the employees. I don't think that it is only in Germany, and especially right now in the time of the crisis, that the group of the people who was mostly hidden by the crisis was the freelancer people. People who are employed, even if there is a problematic system, if there is a crisis, it was always the measure we have as a government, as a nation, we have to take care at first about our employees. So these are important people. The freelancer, we don't see them. We don't know, they are so heterogeneous. Some of them are rich, some of them are poor. So there was always the problem how to address us as a freelancer and how to make the measures. This is of course for us, and it was before the crisis, of course for us always like quite a clear situation that the advantages which are associated with the status of employee, why couldn't we apply for this also in the new model, in the system of freelancer being united inside of the cooperative? So this is the founding idea, and this is the begin of working on it. Also, not only in Germany, because the idea was not born here. The idea was born in Belgium, and it was already 20 years ago, when a few people working as a freelancer, as musician, they get the problems to legalize their work. They had the problems with the access to social security system, and they of course also had some problems with the administration. So it was 20 years ago, the starting point for the idea for people in Belgium to introduce Société Mutuelle pour Artistes in Belgium. As they became the cooperative after a few years, the members of the cooperative in Belgium, they decide that it would be also interesting and for other countries in the Europe to introduce the idea, just to check if it's possible in their own countries to build this kind of structure, and which advantages are for the people in other countries if they will work smart. What could it be to work smart? So as the time goes, and as Belgium supported the development on Belgian members supported the development of development of cooperative in other countries, right now smart structures, smart cooperative structure are in 9 countries in the Europe. And there is almost 100,000 members having mostly continuously access to the social security system, employee-like, and the structure is generating almost 200 million turnover every year. Even if this very, very stressy and very severe for the business times, the structure of SMART is still keeping on growth, or at least still keeping on the same level of turnover. So this is really interesting to see how the turnover being produced through the cooperatives is going also through the very stable to the corona crisis. So these countries are with SMART. We are also, of course, cooperating a lot, and for us and for our members, there is also like an advantage of changing the country, or the advantage of knowing more about the clients in another country. It gives us more European security on communication on our issues as a freelancer being the part of the cooperatives. So, but what does really mean that we are the cooperative? So what does it mean that we are a shared company? So maybe I will explain this on the German example, because it's my example and because I know it by heart. So here in Germany, as Ella already said, it is complex and annoying to build the cooperative, but Ella and the group of people around her, they are working on the project to make it more simple, to make it more dynamic and more accessible for other people. So there is the hope, but still, okay, like quite a bunch of administrative regulation, but still it is quite nice, quite good structure, which is a basic democratic, which is owned by the members. And it is the issue that doesn't matter how many shares you are buying. You can buy 100 shares, or you can buy 1 share, and these 2 persons has the same value for the cooperative as 1 voice. It is possible only like as a person, or as a legal structure, to have in the cooperative only 1 voice. So which gives you really the possibility to co-create and co-decide in the structure of the cooperative. Right now in the Germany, we have with us 550, it's more already, the presentation is a bit old, but it is over 550 freelancer who decided to work together with the cooperative, and it means who decided to take part in the cooperative kind of processing the project. And as I already said, every member has 1 vote in the General Assembly, and we have also the status of active members of the cooperative, because sometimes the members are becoming the members just to support the cooperative, but the active members are also using the services of the cooperative, and they are employed. We have right now approximately, I think 150 to 200 people who are employed in the cooperative. It's changing from month to month. And what is amazing about the system right now, it was the possibility for the people who are employed in the cooperative to be covered with the Kurzarbeitergeld. So it's, I think in English, it's a short work allowance. I also read this in the European newspaper that people are using the German expression of Kurzarbeitgeld. So it means that even if there is no contracts and that the freelancer do not have the work, inside of the cooperative, they are covered with this system which gives them salary and keep them in the social security system, which is very important, and which gives them, of course, the time to reinvent themselves, to change the new clients, to maybe make the schooling and start the new activities, and of course it allows them also to pay the rent and to go for the shopping. So this is the moment for us when I think we could prove that the system of the freelancer working with the cooperative was really the proof of the concept is done with this situation, as it is confirmed that the cooperative, the freelancer working with the cooperative, can be treated for the system the same as employees on the regular basis. So we are taking care about, it was also like one of the parts of the speech of Ella, there is really a difference between cooperative working with the members on the regular basis and meeting offline, and starting to live the cooperative life online. This is the challenge for us. This is what is also changing very strongly. This is also one of the on the positive things about COVID. that the regulation for the cooperative are starting to change. Right now, it is possible for us to introduce the e-voting systems for the cooperative, even if it was not being settled in the status of the cooperative. So we can see that the wind of change is coming, and it will be really easier to work in the cooperative way in the nearly future. Our next General Assembly is in 2 days, and we are really amazed about this possibility. And so, if you ask me later, I can report you if it's nicer or if it's more practical to have it offline or online. I hope to reach, for example, more number of the members if it is being done in the online system. So what I was already talking about us with whom we are working with. We are working with the freelancers who offer the services. So we are not working with the sale of physical products. It is we are working with the people who offer services, and we also always try to check with whom we are working and what are the needs of the group. So we have noticed that there is the group in Germany of teachers who have special exemption from VAT, which is not applicable to the cooperative. So thinking about this group of people, we built inside the cooperative also non-profit limited to be able to, and it's called Bildungswerk, to be able to work with the special needs of the special members. So the cooperative is also developing itself according to the lines of the people and the needs of the people who are joining the cooperative. We know that we can't serve everybody because then we will explode. You also have to keep on the system and be think about what is possible to be handled in the one cooperative. But this is, I think, our strength, that we try to allow the big diversity of the people, and this brings the ideas for us also, and this brings the inspiration to change. One of the change was also for us to invite, to use us as a structure, the collective of Colima 2, and Colima 2 they are ex Deliveroo bikers who decided, after the Deliveroo left Germany, they decided to build their own collective, and they decided to be fair to each other and to work with a different structure than Deliveroo was doing. So after a few weeks or few months of working, they have noticed that it's really very, very complicated to find fitting legal structure for collective form of working. So they decided to join Smart Cooperative, and we took over the platform, and we incorporated the group of the bikers, the collective of the bikers, and right now the cooperative of Smart is also doing the businesses of the small digital platform of the small local collective of food delivery. This is really the idea for us, which brings us to the moment when we say, okay, what's for to join the huge platform who are monopolizing all the system? Why don't to give the landscape and the possibility for the small digital platform working locally, who could use open source tools to have the platform, and then to use the structure of Smart, for example, for the people using the platform to get the employment and access to the social security system, but also for the time when they are trying, and then if they don't know if the system will be economical or not, just not to build a risky business entity, just to try it inside of the cooperative as a startup project using the digital platform. This is, I think, nice idea, and this is what we would like to offer also for the future. This is what we have started with Coima as a new business model, innovative business model based on the cooperative ideas. Bless you. And this was also like for us the starting point for the innovation for the freelancer. It was just to trying to combine as many as possible of pros in freelancing and employment. So this is of course for Germany. So these are responsibilities and these are obligation of people who are employed and who are the freelancer, because it is not like this that everybody wants to be employed and that the freelancer are just the people who didn't find the employment. There are so many of us who really put the value on the freedom, put the value on the working condition, put the value on the way which gives you the balance between your life and your work. So for all these people to have this minimum of security of the employee people, it is the situation which we were introducing. I will not go it through because it's like very German, but this was the idea of combining these two statuses and giving people just additional tool. It is like the tool is like freelancer is a status and is a tool. Being employed is another status. So being employed in the cooperative and staying the freelancer, it is really the third situation which is being offered for the people to use. So maybe one more time, as a shared company, there is no possibility for the paying out the dividends or to the members. We decided that if we at the moment when we are having break even and if we are doing profit, it will be all reinvested in the development of the service of the cooperative and about the line and about direction of the development and about which services should be developed. This is the point for the members of the cooperative to decide about it during the General Assembly. Our services has, of course, a cost, but it is quite low. We charge only 7% on the invoices which proceed with us, and the service we are doing is mostly administrative. But we are also supporting people in such a situation like going for the grant. So it is also possible that you can go together with us for the funding using SMART as a legal body and as a body who administrates the fund. I was already talking about the collective and group. I was talking about the example of Coima and digital platform, local digital platform as collective working inside of SMART. But it is not the only situation. It is also possible for the group, like we have musician bands or ballet working inside of SMART, and instead of building association or building a GBR or small company, they start to work as a group, and they check if it's okay to work with these people, how it feels, what are the responsibilities. They learn with us about the system. Some of them, because they get really mature, they are really successful, they leave the company because they are at the moment to say, okay, right now I really want to buy my own business. I want to put it in the different structure. Some are staying and having the cooperative on the side through the whole business. So this is the the project. And of course, we are trying to communicate to our member that they are at the same time freelancer, employed, that they are entrepreneur, that they have responsibilities, but they are also in a secure system of the employment. So we are trying to build the awareness about us as a cooperative, because it is only possible to work and to have the payment guarantee if your client is not paying, because somebody else, the client of somebody else, is paying earlier. So this gives us this, what we try to communicate, this as we are the group of the people, it is easier to manage all our activities, but we all have to take care about the cooperative, because we are as wealthy and as healthy as all the project and all the cooperativists who are working with us. So we are trying like to bring the awareness of not misusing the system, and of course we have the regulation which exclude the people who would like to try to misuse the system. But still, as a cooperative and as taking the responsibility is based in a big percentage also on trust. So this is the way why our advisors are talking to the members, why we are trying to understand the individual situation of the freelancer, of the member. And it is also sometimes the reason why we are advising not to join us, because we can see that the advantages which will be brought with us are maybe not as attractive as somebody could hope. So this was, I think, this was the short presentation on our system, just to show you Smart as an example for this kind of business, and also to say that in Germany we are still the only one cooperative who is offering employment for the freelancer. I would be happy if it would be more. I'm not afraid about competitors. It would be for me more interesting to learn from each other, to know what others people are doing, and this is so this is this. So I would stop to share my my screen, and I don't know, I would maybe give the voice back to the Luis, saying that if somebody is interested about Smart, our next info session is on the 5th of November at Thursday, and there is on the website you can book a free of charge info session or meeting with our advisors.
Thank you very much, Ella and Magda. Thank you for your presentation, and also for telling us already about the info session with Smart. Before I open up for questions, I think it will be good to check our chat, because in the beginning, Ellen made a question about what does innovation mean for our attendees. So we have a couple of answers. I'm going to read them fairly quick, so Ella and Magdalena can get an understanding of what were the answers. So we have one answer from Svet that says, innovation is new technology through scientific studies. We have another answer from Mark. Innovation is bringing baby boomers through to the modern agile world. Ludwig says, business models that challenge an extractive paradigm of product generation, examples through use of renewables, a zero-waste ethos, and anti-exploitative principles. And the last one that we got was from Mark, or sorry, this is now from the workplace. We got one answer from Mark that says, innovation in the workplace is the acceptance of the portfolio career with barter and cooperation included. Okay, so thank you very much for your answers. I think I have one last one from Andrew. It says, innovation in the workplace is mutual risk management, or parentheses, risk sharing. So that's the answers that we have. So now I would like to ask anyone in the audience or the attendees to ask any questions to Ala and Magda. Feel free to open your mic, or feel free to put it in the chat. Do you have any questions? Let's see. Okay. Can you read the question, Magda and Ella, from the chat?
Oh, mm-hmm.
So I will read.
Whether co-op
Okay.
and open data work hand in hand? If yes, how? Yeah, I think it's a really that's a really good question, and I think that in the future data autonomy and collaborative data ownership and data and care for the cooperative data will be a core discipline of cooperatives, because we might not be there yet, because there is probably not enough of a broad-based understanding of the role of data, but there are already really promising data co-ops emerging these days, and I can easily imagine that also a cooperative like Smart will have a data department in the future, where all the members of Smart all over Europe are taking decisions collectively on how to make use of their data. It can even be a means of creating a basic income for their members. So there are a lot of possibilities involved there, and I think yes, it's a great opportunity, and we haven't even come to a place where we started to touch down on that on a really broad basis.
Thank you very much, Ella, and thank you for the question, Mustafa. We have another question from Mark. Do you see a minimum number of freelancers to effectively function?
It is probably the question for us, for the cooperative. So to build the cooperative of the alone, I think it is really you have to have at least like 10-20 people because the administration burdens are quite high, and the problems of additional audits and financing this, it's not so easy. So and I think also there is important to know what's for to build the cooperative, the mission, the service. This is the core, because just to build the cooperative, just to be together, it's a bit too less. And if you are asking what is the minimum of the freelancer working with a Smart cooperative to reach the break even, I would say that it is 500. But it is 500 of people working as active members, which the numbers in our cooperative is still a bit missing. But we hope to reach it in the next year.
Pretty good. So Mark is giving thumbs up, so I believe your question got answered, correct?
Great.
Good. Any comments about these answers, Magda and Ella, about innovation or about innovation in the workplace? Would you like to maybe make some comments about what you read from the chat?
Maybe one short, because I would like also to talk to Andrzej. Mutual risk management. This is really what Smart is doing. So I'm sorry, you are playing in my so in my direction. Yes, we are. So what Smart is doing is taking the responsibility about the paying the invoice. So if for the project which are made together with the cooperative, the freelancer is not anymore responsible for tracing the payment, and if the client is not paying, the cooperative is taking care about the cooperative is still paying the salary. So this is really the mutualization of the risk management. And of course we have also, together as the cooperative, we have liability insurance, and we have insurances which cover additionally the workers with the secure system. So this is the mutualization. And of course we, the system of Smart administration, people who advisor and me, so we are also like mutualized worker of the cooperative. So you are using as the freelancer our work force to proceeding your invoice and to make you free from the administration fears and burdens.
Ella, would you like to add to that comment or to the question?
No, I think it's that's pretty good. I just want to give just want to catch up a little bit on other remarks in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on what innovation means to you. I think what I learned from you is that there is a tendency of people steering away from traditional notions of innovation that in former times used to be something that, you know, like there was always, for me, there was this idea of being in a race for innovation, and you know, the goal was to come up with some really sci-fi product or killer app. I think what I can read from your from your posts is that this is changing, that we are trying to really remind ourselves of what is actually healthy and productive for us as human beings, not just for us as workers, but like as, you know, in a more holistic sense. I'm glad to read that, and I find the comments really interesting, and will definitely want to suggest, Luis, that we are going to save the chat and copy it, so we can get back to that. And I just want to maybe touch down on the question: what are the current obstacles of co-ops? And maybe Magda, you can join me on that. Maybe I start. I think one major obstacle is the lack of widespread funding for platform co-ops. So many of them, also the examples we were giving, are really operating on a precarious level. I think Smart is a really good example of a cooperative that has been around for decades and finally managed to break even. I think it's a great example. But yeah, there are the examples where, you know, it's really super innovative, but they are struggling. So finances are definitely an obstacle. But also, what is an obstacle is a lot of the really successful sharing economy products have been setting standards in terms of usability and online user experience. So you know, deciding to use another service that is not as convenient and not as intuitive as, for instance, this platform here, requires definitely a loss in quality, and it comes with many hurdles. And there's a lack, of course, of willingness from people to use these products, because very often they simply don't deliver. But I think this is also, hopefully we'll see a progress here, and we'll still have enough supporters to keep on sticking to these cooperative developments and helping to make them better, because also here we need a critical mass. Magda, and maybe you can also comment on the biggest obstacles of platform co-op.
I think it's, I will join Ella, the administration obstacles, which are like very, very strong. They are like additional audits. They are problem, the time of the founding cooperative is quite long in Germany. This also needs, people need time and patience. And what I really find problematic is to find the specialists on the tax or on the law, who can really help you short, and that you have the expertise which helps you in the further steps. So this is for us. It was for us and for Ella and for me the biggest steps to the biggest hassle to take over. And it was the joke what we are saying, that the most of the cooperative in Germany, they are not dying because of the bankruptcy, they are dying because they are getting tired of all the administration and of the rules and following this situation, because it is on the legal structure, it is like a quite like the marriage of the limited with really high standards on fiscal and pension fund reporting regulation with the association, but it even in the General Assembly, which I right now have, it has such a dusty forms of how do I present my cooperative, what do I present, that I think that my people will fall asleep after 20 minutes of me starting to report on all this issue. And I have to, because it is a law in Germany. I have to fulfill this. In other case, I will be excluded from the sisters of the cooperative, from the audit of the cooperative. So this is really like, but okay, there is right now work to do, and it's Ella and platform cooperativism movement. So we are trying to communicate this also to making the lobby work, to communicate it also to the people who are responsible. And it starts to move, yeah. But the move in the cooperative situation is very, very slow. This is the problematic. In other countries, I know in Spain it is really like Frankie. It's very good structure which you can build very fast, and it's for the people, like few entrepreneurs meeting together. Okay, what do we build? Oh, we build cooperative. You know, so it is more common, more there's more usability in using the structure. So there is always the information from us, from SMART, that we are saying, okay, you want to work collectively and you want to check how it is at first with you, and then to build the legal structure, you can always join us. But it is, of course, a bit of advertisement what I'm doing right now.
Great. Thank you very much, Ella and Magda. Very great answers. I have another, or there was another comment from what innovation means, and I think that came, or it was triggered with your intervention, like with the way you were explaining what innovation is all about, from Andre. He said, the innovation is changing from product, services, process innovation to organizational innovations. Do you have any comments about this specific comment from Andre?
No, it's a beautiful remark, really, because it's just, you know, it's tackling the process from the different ends, right? It's not starting at product or service design, but it starts at organizational innovation, and I think that's really cool, because I have this big belief that that if we are really dealing with organizational design and with well-being of people and all the questions related, then inevitably also our products will become better. Because very often, if we look at how product teams are put together, very often it's a male and white Westerners centric perspective on how products are being developed. And I think the more diversity we have and the more understanding, or the broader notion of economy that we can create all together, this also will make our products better and more sustainable, and hopefully more accepted for a widespread audience. Thank you so much. And I just want to share a little invitation. We will have an organizational design masterclass on Thursday night, and we will talk exactly about these topics, featuring a lot of pioneers, or not a lot of, but a really nice number of pioneers from decentralized autonomous organizations, from community trusts, platform co-ops, from purpose organizations, and we will really dive into different forms of organizing and forms of founding. And I hope it's okay if I paste the link here, because you can still sign up for that, and it's going to be in English, and I really hope to see some people there. Please find the info in the link.
Really good. Thank you, Ella. Also, give me the chance to tell everyone in the meeting room that we're going to share, of course, the comments in the chat, as Ella suggested, but also, as you can see, we're recording the session. Sorry for not mentioning in the beginning, but if you have any issue being in the recording, just contact me. I will, of course, not put your name or either your faces in the video. Just to let you know, we're recording just for our registration of the talk. Any other question? Does anybody else have something to either chair or either ask to Ella and Magda? You can unmute yourself, or you can again use the chat as you wish. Of course, we will also share the links in the chat, the design masterclass that Ella just posted, and we also have a link that was just shared by Diego. We also will share that. And yeah, we will share with all of you after the session. Do you have any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, so before we finished, I would like to mention that we have the next event of Business Model Innovators next month. This event it's going to be hosted by Stefania, hopefully, or myself. And we have a presenter who's also in this call, Reinhild. And yes, we will be informing, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, what this event will be all about. Yeah, we have some comments in the chat. Congrats, Magdalena and Ella. It has been fantastic. Thank you very much, Magdalena, Ella. So if we don't have any more questions, then I would like to then close the session. Some last comments. Ella, Magdalena, would you like to say anything before we end? You can, again, probably, Magdalena, tell us about the session. Could you remind us when it is and when it takes place and where, please?
With pleasure. So the next info session in English about our cooperative will take place online. You can register on our website. I can post one more time the website.
Yes,
in the bottom of the website. There is the link for the attend the info session, and it's only 1 hour, and maybe it's practical to see if it could be applicable for your current life situation if you are in Germany. If not, you can always ask us to send you to the other smarts working in Spain, in Italy, in Sweden, so we can connect you with our partners internationally. Thanks a lot, and thank you for hearing me.
Great. Here, Anders said, thank you for sharing the Interval Smart. It's a smart move. Great. Ella, would you like to say some final words before we close the session?
Yeah, thank you so much. I always enjoy these opportunities to share with people around innovation, cooperativism. Never get tired about that. I really hope to see you back in other events, maybe also on one of our supermarket calls. You can check our website. We regularly do platform cooperative calls similar to this one. And yeah, I just hope to see you again. I wish you a great evening. Thanks for inviting us, Luis and Estefania.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Well, again, thank you very much, Ella, Magdalena. Thank you, everyone. And we hope, and I hope that you all have a nice evening ahead. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.